Hey, I'm Coach Ryan Fowler. Today we're going to take a look at an Eagles play from Super Bowl 59. Let's film study. Here we go, Super Bowl 59, Chiefs, Eagles. It's first down and 10. The Eagles have the ball on the Chiefs' 47-yard line. All right, personnel group is 11. We have a tight end down here. We have a running back, Saquon Barkley, right there in the backfield. So this is 11 personnel, and the formation after the motion is going to be 22 off. 22 off because the tight end is to the right and he's off the ball. So we put the designation off at the end of the numbers. So we got 22 off. Backfield is gun near because Saquon is offset to the tight end. So he is near. If he was away from the tight end, it would be far. All right, so gun near. All right, now what we're going to get here is a pretty cool play. It's essentially quarterback power read, right, where the read is the alternative to the quarterback power is a sweep by Saquon Barkley. All right, some people call this a hand sweep. Some people call this a buck sweep. It's really not a buck sweep because he doesn't have any lead blockers. So it looks to me like we're going to watch it real quick. Jalen Hurts hands the ball to Saquon, who tries to get the edge. He does not get it. It's actually a pretty unsuccessful play this time. But we're going to take a look at a couple of things. One, Mike Dana here, the defensive end 51 for the Chiefs, does a really good job using what's called a surf technique. And we'll discuss that when we see it from the other angle. The other thing we're going to look at is that I think Jalen Hurts got the wrong read here. We're going to see that if he kept the ball and followed his pullers, his blockers, there was an open gap, and he probably would have had a long gain. So we're going to take a look at both those things, but take a look at it one more time from this angle. Looks like the Chiefs are definitely in some sort of an 8-man front. It's hard to tell for sure if this is man coverage or cover 3. It looks, based on the corners, like this is man coverage. They're locked in on those outside receivers. You can even see McDuffie up there is turning his head. He's not looking for anything else. So it doesn't look like he's in zone coverage, being that one of the characteristics of zone coverage is that you can keep your eyes on the quarterback to be able to break on the ball. So these guys look to be in man coverage. That really won't change much in terms of the fit up front. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. All right, because we are in an 8-man box, all right, and we can tell that because Justin Reed is actually coming down into the box here after the motion. Go ahead and get past the motion so you can see that. All right, so Tranquil's moving into the box there. All right, Justin Reed's coming down here on the outside. So now we have an 8-man box. All right, with an 8-man box, we know one back, one gap, right? So initially, the linebackers should have these two gaps, all right? Bolton has the front, the backside A. Tranquil has the front side A. All right, but what we're going to see is when these two, the guard here, right, and the tackle both pull, then there's no need for Bolton to play a backside gap at all. In fact, we end up with two guys in one gap. All right, so 91 and 51 here both end up technically in one gap, which is the outside of Jurgens' block here. You can see there's no blockers separating them, so they're technically in the same gap. So to me, this read would indicate that Hurts should keep the ball. All right, now watch. After the pullers go, what you're going to see is, all right, so 90 has the outside of 77, right? So we've got him here. All right, we're going to have Reed on the outside of the tight end here. All right, now Tranquil should be headed for the inside of this puller here. Okay, so I'm going to let this run just a little bit further right there. Tranquil should head inside of Johnson here, all right, in between him and Dickerson. So he would have that gap. All right, and then Bolton really should be fighting inside of the block by Mailata, not over the top, and end up either on the out. Well, he'd end up on the outside of this here. Okay, so he doesn't do that. He gets caught short here. We're actually a whole gap short. Watch. All right, so right here, there's a seam between Dickerson here and Johnson here that Hurts, if he had kept the ball, could have creased that right there and then been off to the races. Okay, but Jalen Hurts decided to hand the ball here, and so let's take a look at Mike Dannon. This is the defensive end over here on the right side. He does what's called a surf technique. So anytime as a defensive end you get a down block, all right, or a pull away, what you first do is squeeze. All right. Now, some defensive ends are taught to chase, but in this case, because the back is offset away from him, there's nothing to chase. So instead of him screaming down the back of the line of scrimmage to chase a running back who had got a handoff, he knows that he can stay square, just squeeze in with the extra space there, and then freeze. Right now, all he's going to do is make sure he gets on the inside half of Saquon Barkley as he runs, and then he's going to chase him out to the next defender. Okay, so he does a really good job here of staying square. He waits. All right, now at some point he's got to take off. Now, if Saquon were to stick his right foot in the ground here and cut inside of this, there's a chance that he's got him, right? But he's going to try to outrun him to the flat here. And so he does a pretty good job of staying on the inside hip of that and running parallel to the line of scrimmage. A lot of guys make the mistake of going upfield here and trying to attack where Saquon is running, right? And that would be a problem because he's never going to get there. He's not as fast as Saquon, and he wouldn't get there. And then Saquon would be able to turn the corner. So instead, he's going to run flat down the line of scrimmage and force this wider and wider, knowing that Saquon would actually have to gain positive vertical yards in order to intersect him at some point. So he actually has a shorter distance to go than Saquon does in order to get to the edge, right? So he can just run flat down the line of scrimmage, just like that, force that out to the next defender, and it's really a dead play. I think they might have gained 1 on that play. It's a really good job by Mike Dana there. That's not easy for a guy who's 260 pounds to string this all the way out to the next defender. So really good job by the Chiefs defensive end there. Think that Jalen Hurts probably would have been better off keeping this ball. It looked like there was an extra gap on the strong side of the formation, but he handed it, and so they'll have to live with that. So the takeaway there really comes from defensive end Mike Dana. He did a great job of staying square, squeezing down the tackle initially, and then playing down flat to the line of scrimmage instead of chasing up the field. That gave him a chance to string the play out and involve some other defenders on the outside. Till next time.